would Aaron Rodgers go next season? What is the best place for Aaron Rodgers to go this season? And truthfully, I'm not sure if he's staying in Green Bay or if he's leaving this season. If you held a gun to my head right now, I would say it's a 40-60 chance that he stays as opposed to leaves. I think it's a fixable situation. But if he does decide to leave, Aaron Rodgers to Denver, I think, is the best play, and it's what makes most sense. And rarely do I ever kind of go with the media narrative when it comes to these types of things. I had some guy in the comments section accusing me of just being a brain-dead media monkey that, just follows whatever the media says. Normally I go against the media on this type of things because I think they think too much about the big picture. But when people talk about Denver being the best place for Aaron Rodgers, I actually tend to agree. And part of it is me being a little bit selfish, because if you can imagine Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers twice a year for every year until Aaron Rodgers retires, that's money TV right there. That if you're a football fan and if you're the NFL, you should absolutely hope that Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver so you get Mahomes versus Rodgers twice a year. And, from a more pure football perspective, Denver has a really great football team. They've got a strong defense that got much, much better this offseason with the addition of Kyle Fuller. And they've got good weapons on offense as well. They got Jerry Jeudy entering their second season. You've got a potential Pro Bowl tight end in Noah Fant. You've got Sutton there as well. And I don't know what it is about Denver being the retirement home for disgruntled Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but if you get Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers in an 8-year span, then sheesh, that is some pretty good work by the general managers of the Denver Broncos. Obviously, George Patton hasn't been there for too long, but I don't know what it is about Denver that just makes, disgruntled Hall of Fame quarterbacks extremely happy. But in this particular situation, I do think that Denver is the best place for Aaron Rodgers if he does decide to leave. I don't buy into the 49ers. I think they're set and they're happy with their future with Trey Lance. You would only get, Rodgers for maybe 4 or 5 seasons anyway. With Lance, you get much more into the future. As good as Rodgers is, I don't think that the 49ers are a good trade candidate, and I don't think the Raiders are either. The Raiders have drafted so horribly over the past 3 or 4 years. I don't like the vision that the Raiders have with Gruden and Mayock. I don't understand it. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers would be entertained by the idea of going to Las Vegas, even though that was a name on the potential list. I just don't see it to the Raiders. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't think they're productive. I don't think they're drafted well. For me, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, it would be an unattractive place to land, but we'll see. So, I think that Denver would be the best place for Aaron Rodgers if he does decide to leave. And kind of just a wrapping up thought here, if there was ever a time for Green Bay to let Aaron Rodgers go, this isn't a bad time to let him go. If there ever was a time to. The Lions are rebuilding. Sure, they got a quarterback in Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff is worse than Matthew Stafford is. So depending on how much you value Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford, you can debate on whether or not that's an upgrade. Who knows what a change in scenery will do for Jared Goff. I will throw that out there. So the Lions are rebuilding. They've got a new quarterback. They've got a new coaching staff. Lions are probably not going to be very good for a couple seasons, although they do have my interest. The Bears are going to be grooming a quarterback for the next few seasons who, unless Fields is great immediately, the Bears are probably going to thrive off their defense for at least 2 more seasons. They'll be good, but they're not going to be a threat necessarily. And then you have Minnesota, and I think Minnesota is probably going to be the biggest threat in your division for a little while. Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and if that defense in Minnesota can get right, that's going to be a playoff team next year. So they're the biggest threat. And, it's not like you're releasing him when the Bears are really, really good. It's not like you're releasing him in 2018 where Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears went 12-4 and the Vikings had a really good season. This isn't the worst time to let Aaron Rodgers go, is kind of what I'm getting at. I don't think there's ever a good time you want to release a Hall of Fame quarterback, but in terms of a timing to let him go, it's not the best timing, but it's certainly not the worst timing. I would be okay in terms of where I stand without Aaron Rodgers in comparison to the other, 3 teams in the division, because 2 of them have rookie quarterbacks or quarterbacks with a new team, I should say, and the other has Kirk Cousins, which Kirk Cousins can only get you so far, and he's extremely overpaid, and I think the Vikings just drafted his replacement. So with that all being said, at the end of the day, I think it all comes down to whether or not Jordan Love is ready to play or not. And quite frankly, I don't think he is, but I don't think that's going to matter much, especially if Aaron Rodgers decides to leave. And like I said at the very beginning of this entire episode of the podcast, this is the most interesting and weird situation or any amount of drama that I've seen in a very long time, at least as long as I've been a sports reporter. It's incredibly weird how the media and Schefter, basically one man, almost, shaped the narrative by himself. It calls into question the credibility of what's going on. Although it does appear like his information is correct, it calls into question how much of it is credible, how much of it is accurate, how serious it is, I should say. Sources mean a lot. And it's going to be interesting to see if this is fixable. If it's not fixable, I would love to see Aaron Rodgers in Denver. I'm with the rest of the sports world on that one. I think Mahomes versus Rodgers for two times a year, every year until Rodgers retires, is just so much fun. So much fun to watch. And I think I've wrapped up everything. That's a lot to talk about. I've been talking about Aaron Rodgers for damn near 30 minutes now. So I'm going to wrap us all up, cut it up, and put it up as soon as possible. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I had a fun time. I basically ranted and let everything go and let everything out. I hope that you enjoyed listening to it, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to subsequent episodes of the podcast as well if you are new to the channel or new to the show. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Hard-Headed Sports Podcast hosted by me, Nick Ryan. This has been episode 42.5, the bonus Aaron Rodgers dedicated episode. So with that being said, stay hard-headed, everybody, but have a nice day.